Hello everyone, welcome back to the Conflict Zone 24 news channel. Please subscribe, like, and share my videos because today we bring you one of the most intense developments shaking the Middle East. Israel has officially confirmed that it carried out a powerful airstrike targeting a missile production site deep inside eastern Lebanon. This new escalation comes amid rising regional tensions involving Hezbollah, Iran, and growing political uncertainty around the Gaza peace process. The entire region is once again on edge as the echoes of explosions, diplomatic outrage, and military mobilizations reverberate across the borders. From the very first reports, the attack was described as highly precise and devastating. According to local sources, multiple Israeli fighter jets crossed into Lebanese airspace late last night and fired a series of guided munitions toward what intelligence agencies have identified as an underground weapons facility operated by Hezbollah engineers. The strike reportedly destroyed advanced machinery used for manufacturing precision-guided missiles. Residents living miles away in Baalbek and Hermel reported hearing loud blasts that shook buildings and lit up the sky with massive fireballs. Israeli authorities later claimed that the mission was a success, emphasizing that it eliminated a growing threat to national security. In the exterior perspective of this incident, the visuals coming from the blast site reveal total destruction. Smoke and fire continued to rise for hours, and rescue teams struggled to approach the burning ruins because of secondary explosions triggered by ammunition stored inside. Satellite images show a large crater at the impact zone surrounded by debris and twisted metal. This was not just a symbolic strike. It was a calculated military move aimed at crippling Hezbollah's missile development capabilities. The exterior scene of this event paints a clear picture of escalating confrontation, where both sides appear ready for the next phase of confrontation. The Lebanese government has accused Israel of violating its sovereignty yet again, while Hezbollah has vowed to retaliate at the time and place of its choosing. The interior of this story, however, goes much deeper. Behind the explosions and headlines lies a complex web of political and military maneuvers. The timing of this attack is no coincidence. It comes just days after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who endorsed former U.S. President Donald Trump's renewed Gaza peace plan, signaling a potential realignment of alliances in the region. Meanwhile, Hezbollah's growing involvement in missile production within Lebanese territory has increasingly worried Israeli defense planners. Intelligence reports indicate that Hezbollah, backed by Iran's Revolutionary Guard, has been working to upgrade its arsenal from unguided rockets to precision missiles capable of striking strategic Israeli targets such as airbases, power plants, and military command centers. The facility that Israel targeted was allegedly part of a broader Iranian-sponsored program to produce such advanced weapons locally in Lebanon, thus avoiding risky cross-border transfers from Iran or Syria. This interior dimension also includes the silent diplomatic tensions rippling across the region. The Lebanese authorities are under immense pressure, caught between condemning Israel's actions and preventing Hezbollah's activities from dragging the entire country into another devastating conflict. International players like the United States and France are calling for restraint, while Russia and Iran have denounced Israel's attack as a blatant act of aggression. In the corridors of power in Tel Aviv, however, Israeli officials argue that waiting any longer would have allowed Hezbollah to gain a technological advantage that could shift the balance of power in the north. For them, preemptive defense was not a choice. It was a necessity. The performance of Israel's military machine in this strike has once again demonstrated its unmatched operational efficiency. From intelligence collection to precision, targeting, and execution, the operation was swift, silent, and lethal. Reports suggest that Israeli drones had been monitoring the suspected missile plant for weeks, mapping every entry point and movement around it. Once the political approval was granted, the Air Force launched advanced F-35 stealth fighters equipped with laser, guided bombs, and long-range missiles. The attack was executed with surgical precision, minimizing collateral damage despite the facility being located close to civilian areas. The Israeli Defense Forces IDF described the strike as a preventive operation to safeguard Israeli citizens from future threats. The performance here was not just about air power, but about coordination between intelligence, cyber, and electronic warfare units, reflecting the high level of sophistication that has made the IDF one of the most advanced military forces in the world. When we examine the safety features surrounding this entire operation, it becomes evident that Israel took extraordinary measures to minimize civilian casualties and avoid escalation into a full-scale war. Early warning systems in the targeted area reportedly alerted nearby residents moments before the explosions occurred, giving them time to evacuate. Furthermore, the attack took place during late night hours when the industrial area was mostly deserted. On the Israeli side, the Iron Dome and David's Sling air defense systems were placed on high alert, ready to intercept any retaliatory rocket fire from Lebanon. Civil defense forces across northern Israel were instructed to open bomb shelters and prepare for emergency responses. These safety layers show the dual reality of this conflict. While Israel continues its offensive operations, it remains equally focused on protecting its population from the inevitable backlash. The unique selling points of this military event lie in its geopolitical impact. Unlike previous border skirmishes or small-scale strikes, this operation directly targets the core of Hezbollah's evolving missile program, a program that has been described by Western analysts as one of the most serious long-term threats facing Israel. By striking the production site rather than stockpiles or convoys, Israel is sending a clear message. It will not tolerate the establishment of self-sufficient missile industries on its borders. This represents a significant shift in strategy. It shows that Israel's war doctrine is no longer purely reactive but strategically preventive. Another unique point is the precision and intelligence integration behind the mission. This strike highlights Israel's superior surveillance capabilities, likely supported by satellite data and U.S. intelligence sharing, emphasizing the continuing strategic partnership between Jerusalem and Washington, even as both navigate complex political realities at home. Price, in this context, refers not to money but to the cost of escalation. Every such strike carries with it a heavy price: political, humanitarian, and strategic. For Israel, the immediate price may come in the form of renewed hostilities with Hezbollah, increased rocket fire toward northern cities like Haifa or Nahariya, and diplomatic fallout at the United Nations. For Lebanon, the cost could be even more devastating. The country is already suffering from economic collapse, political instability, and energy shortages. Another war with Israel would risk destroying what remains of its fragile infrastructure. Yet Hezbollah's leadership seems undeterred, declaring that the resistance will not remain silent in the face of this aggression. Iran, too, has condemned the attack and warned that Israeli crimes will not go unanswered. The regional price tag is therefore not just measured in bombs and bullets, but in potential ripple effects across the entire Middle East, where one wrong move could ignite multiple flashpoints, from the Syrian Golan Heights to the Gaza Strip. As the world watches this unfolding crisis, analysts are debating whether Israel's decision was a brilliant act of defense or a dangerous gamble. Supporters of Israel argue that the strike was necessary to prevent Hezbollah from acquiring weapons capable of changing the strategic balance. Critics, however, warn that such operations only push the region closer to another large-scale war. What remains undeniable is that the Middle East today stands at a crossroads. Each nation, each leader, and each missile launched has the potential to redraw the map of regional power for years to come. In conclusion, Israel's airstrike on the missile production site in eastern Lebanon marks yet another pivotal moment in the ongoing struggle for security and dominance in the Middle East. The precision, timing, and execution underline Israel's military superiority, but they also expose the fragility of peace in a region forever on the brink. The smoke from the ruins in Lebanon may clear in a few days, but the political and strategic consequences will linger much longer. This is not merely a story of bombs and explosions. It is a story of power, deterrence, and survival. The world now waits anxiously to see whether diplomacy or destruction will define the next chapter. One thing is certain: the flames from eastern Lebanon have lit up the entire Middle East once again.